Microsoft OneNote is a wonderful tool free to all Tufts University students, staff, and faculty that allow the user to take notes in a variety of different ways. In this video, I'm going to focus on some of the most common questions I get asked, primarily on how to add notes in math and audio recordings on a Windows machine. We're on Windows 10. There are several helpful things you can do to write in math in this program. You can freehand draw and add graphs, which may be better used on a tablet just because trying to draw with a touchpad or a mouse for long periods of time can be difficult. To do so, we would go to the Draw menu and then select the tool that works best for us. So I'm going to try to draw a graph here, which would be a lot better if we had graph paper, which is something that OneNote can do. If we go to the View menu and then go to Rule Lines, we can select a grid line that works best for us. So if I try to redraw, I might have a little more luck. There's also a way to use handwritten math and change it into typed. So I'm going to try to write a calculus equation here. It can work fairly well. It just depends on how well the shape of your drawing turns out. We have to go back to the Draw menu and choose the lasso tool so we can select the equation we drew. It should highlight the entire text, and then if you press on the Math option in that same Draw menu, you should have a pop-up on the right-hand side that has the equation written in more normal math typed stuff. You can fix the how it's formatted, and you can also ink to math. So if you press ink to math, I'll zoom in a little bit for you, we can actually have the typed math we expect. There's this really cool tool that's available only in the Windows version of OneNote, is you can highlight your equation and then select an action. You can choose to evaluate it, or also the graph function I find a lot more interesting. You can select it and it'll show it on the side window. You can zoom in, zoom out, format it the way you need to, and then you can press Insert on Page and it puts it there. So you can see the visual and not necessarily have to hand draw all of those notes or all of those graphs. Additionally, we can actually type math, and it looks a little different than you might expect when you start. So I'm going to do x caret 2, that allows us to do a superscript, and y sub 0, which allows us to do a subscript. If I do a slash, this part should turn into a fraction, and then we're going to just make an equation by making it equal to 0. So I'm outside of it and it didn't really do anything, which kind of looks a little sad, but if we press on the math button again, we'll have it reformatted to the mathematical formatting where you expect it to have. We also have the option to graphs and solve for different things. I would not rely on the solving to do your math homework for you, but at least it could be a different double check if you need that support. So this is the different ways you can use math in this program. So now we're going to talk about audio recording. So audio recording is a useful tool for note-taking. If you're thinking about using audio recording, keep in mind that Massachusetts is a two-party recording state, which means that everyone being recorded has to know they're being recorded and has to consent to it, meaning you will need to talk to your faculty before using this technology and work on ways to inform other students if needed. For classes that are primarily discussion-based, this accommodation may not make as much sense to use as you're being tested on the material and not on your classmates' experiences. Now we're going to actually do the audio recording in OneNote. We'd go to Insert, and then you can choose Audio, and there's a tab that'll pop up that says Recording. It'll have the option to stop, and we'll have a box that has the time ticking upwards. So in this case, you can still type, taking notes. You can even go to the Draw menu and draw things. Draw a little heart, smiley face, and then I want to go back to typing again. And then we can actually go back to the recording tab and then press stop. So when we press stop, that's how we make it so that the program knows to finish that audio file. If we press pause, we would still be in that same audio file until we decided otherwise. So if you have to pause for questions while other people are asking them in class, that's also another option. So now that we've pressed pause, we can now hover over all of the objects that we took notes on while we were recording and see that there's a play button off to the left. If we press the play button, and I'll pause it real fast, you can see that we jumped audio recording time to 17 seconds in, and that space is highlighted. So if I press play again, it should continue to walk through even as we did each, object of notes. So as we typed it, and it'll go to step by step what we were drawing, what was being said at that moment. So hopefully these can combination be useful for you. Remember that your laptop's microphone may be limited in what it can pick up, so you will get better audio if you're sitting closer to the speaker. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Student Accessibility Services and we can help you from there. Have a wonderful day.